lot of listing appointments for the real estate agents here in our team.
Rudy is known as the millionaire real estate agent maker at Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. His passion is to help real estate agents and brokers 10x their income with no cold calling, no prospecting, and no door knocking. He has been featured on ABC, CBS, Fox News. Riz Media named him as the 2020 real estate newsmaker, and Exelon magazine also named Rudy as a top 10 most admired business leaders in 2021.
Instead of focusing on your weakness, instead of trying to improve what you are weak on, if you want to be successful, focus on your strength, develop your God-given talent, because every single one of us, we all have this God-given talent, right? But then, if you don't practice, you don't develop your God-given talent, it's useless. Look at every athlete or anybody that's successful in their field. Do you think they're born like that? They practice every single day. But they practice on the one thing. The problem with real estate agents, DJ, they try to practice on the stuff that like 20 different stuff. So now they become average in everything.
Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. Today we are doing something special. Welcome to our Superstars Agents Partner Podcast, where every Monday at 11 o'clock, I bring in here our superstar agents to help the real estate agents in the industry in this market today. But today is our midweek service. Today is not Monday, obviously. Today is Wednesday, but today it's special because this is not a real estate agent. I want to bring to you the engine behind the scenes. So today we have our special superstar, Margaret, which is a part of our inside sales team. She's but not just any sales team. Margaret actually specialized with our seller leads. Right? How many of you real estate agents are watching this? How many of you want to get more seller leads in this market today? Share below which area that you want to get more listings. How many of you want to get more listings? Make sure you comment below on this video. Type in your marketplace, because when we have an overflow of listing appointments, then we'll reach out to you. So make sure you comment below which area that you are interested to get more listings. But today is special because we're going to go behind the scenes. We're going to go behind the engines on how we are able to generate buyers and listing appointments for the real estate agents in our team. But before we do that, Margaret, why don't you do a quick introduction about you, exactly what you do, how long you've been with the team, just to put it in the right context, so that way the real estate agents audience who's listening to this, they understand. Because Margaret, as you know, in real estate, everybody that's doing the talking usually they don't do actually the real work, right? So Margaret, here you're actually doing the real work. So why don't you share a little bit background so everybody can understand the context of our interview today?
Absolutely. So I've been with the team for almost a decade, almost 10 years. And my important role is to pretty much keep my agents busy and giving them an opportunity to meet with the seller face to face. And if they're out of state, out of the country, then of course via Zoom, which is still considered face to face. So I guess you can say, do all the heavy lifting for my agents. So I check and make sure that the lead that we're talking to, they are motivated to sell. They are the owner, of course, most importantly, and they do have the intention to move within 3 to 6 months, if not sooner. And if any of the leads that after they met with their agents and they feel that, today is not the time to sell, then they'll send it back to me. We'll nurture it. We'll give them a call and pretty much just nurture, follow up, and have my agents who's good at what they do, which is closing deals, be out in the field.
Wow, I'm sorry. How long you been with the team again, Margaret?
Almost a decade, 9 years.
9 years. So 9 years this year. Today, just for the records, today is August 28, 2024. So are you 9 years in 2024 or 10 years next year?
9 years.
9 years this year. So next year, 2025, we're gonna throw a big party, Margaret. We're
I'll
gonna
hold
do.
you accountable, Rudy. We're gonna
Yeah. Go to my go to my house, Margaret. We're gonna do a private. Let's do a private party in my house. Do you know exactly what month next year is gonna be your 10th year anniversary?
July.
Okay, let's set it up now. July. Well, we can do my birthday party and Margaret my party in July. Okay, so Margaret, let's get right into it, right? Because many real estate agents now they want to get more listing appointments. So first of all, let's talk about numbers because in this business, there's too many people overpromise and underdeliver. So let's look at your database, Margaret. In the last, I don't know, maybe in the last 12 months, how many listings appointments and or direct connections that we have generated for the real estate agents in our team?
So as far as direct connections for the last 12 months, we're about 150, and these are sellers.
Sorry, Margaret. Let me write it down here. So direct connection in the last 12 months, how many?
About 150, and these are sellers calling you directly. So you're not cold calling, you're not doing any of that. They're calling you directly. And in the last 6 months, because I don't have the record for the 12 yet, but for the past 6 months, we booked 220 listing appointments.
So in the last 6 months, you booked 220 listings appointments.
Correct. And some of these include buy and sell or sell and buy.
Margaret, you know, in this business, real estate agents are confused, or people that's trying to mimic what we do. They are using words like leads, right? Can you explain, Margaret, the difference? What is a lead? What is a seller leads? What is a seller connections? And what is a seller's appointments, listing appointments? These three we need to be clear on the definition, so that way there is no misunderstanding what we are talking about here.
Absolutely. Leads are what I deal with. These are people that we're not really sure if they're really the seller, if they're really looking to buy or sell, or if you're even legit. So leads come to me where I check, make sure I'm talking to Rudy. Rudy does own 123 Main Street, and Rudy does have the intention to sell. If Rudy says, yes, I am looking to sell now because I'm relocating whatsoever, that becomes a seller appointment because I actually just set the appointment. Now, the direct connections or live connections, those are Rudy not talking to me, the ISA, but Rudy talking to another agent or talking to an actual agent from our team. And it's Rudy, the seller, talking to our agent. So that's the live connection because there's no me intervening between Rudy and the agent.
Okay, so in our team system, we do not give leads.
No. Unless where they speak a different language, where, of course, if they speak Spanish, then obviously I'm going to need help. But if
You
not,
don't speak.
then I
don't speak Spanish.
I don't. I tried.
Hey, how many of you are speaking Spanish? Put it on the chat. So that means our inside sales team, we are looking for Spanish-speaking inside sales team members. All right, so okay, those are the three definitions. Let me just recap what Margaret says. The first one is seller leads. Leads are just inquiries. Okay, so it's like basically ABC Main Street. It's just a random names, you know. So we do not do that. We do not give leads because we don't want you as the real estate agent's partner in my team to chase these leads. So that's one. That's leads. The second one is called direct live connections. Direct live connections is where you're going to receive a phone call directly from the owners of the house. So we connect you directly. That's why it's called direct live connections. So the owner of the house, they're going to call you directly. Your cell phone is going to ring with the owner of the house. And the third thing, this is where Margaret specialized on for the last 9 years here in the team, is basically Margaret take the leads that coming in, Margaret call, check their timing motivation. If they are not motivated to sell, basically Margaret is going to either nurture them or going to trash them. Later on, we'll hear more about what she does with that. But then the point is, if they're ready to sell now, and basically Margaret is going to book that listing appointments to you, my real estate agent's partner here in the team. Now, appointments means there's a definite date, time, and location. That's that's the definition of appointment. So Margaret is going to say, hey, Rudy, you have an appointment tomorrow at 3 o'clock on 123 Main Street. Mr. and Mrs. Smith is selling their house. So it's a definite date, time, and location. So Margaret, can you walk through, can you share with us the lead flow chart, I guess, meaning when the leads come in from wherever. So I don't know, you share with us from the beginning, from the genesis all the way until you actually book the appointments, because this is, guys, this is the secret sauce how the real estate agent in our team are super highly productive, is because the agents are not chasing leads. They are not even doing the follow-up. The agents in my agents partners literally just show up at an appointment. So Margaret, can you share from the beginning and all the way until my partner actually show up at that listing appointments?
Absolutely. So leads, we have various sources. We have the little sellers, the mailers, absentee, radio, direct mail, billboards, Revive, and all. So when a lead comes in, usually it could be an office call, it could be an email, it could be many sources, but usually it's incoming calls. And we take down their information, name, phone number, property, and this is where ISA comes in and we screen the lead, meaning we check time and motivation, we confirm they are the owner, they do have the intention to sell. There are times you're going to get some who's like, you know what, I'm just asking because my tenants are moving out in January, so I'm just curious what the numbers are, which is okay. So if the timing and motivation is not there yet, then this is where I'll give them a call back maybe around November, just to confirm that the tenants are moving out and try to set another appointment. So once all of this is done, timing, motivation, are they looking to buy first, sell first, or if this is an investment property, I will go ahead and take down every information that they share. I'll put it in my agent's calendar, which is very important. We pretty much rely on your calendar to know if you're available, not available, and so forth. We'll put that on your calendar, send you an email, and let you know that you have an appointment. Now, of course, if our agent's not available, then at that point, I'll just go ahead and book it to someone else. And like I mentioned to you earlier, if after our agent met the seller and they're not comfortable with selling, usually what they'll do is they'll send the lead back to me and let me know, hey, Margaret, call them back maybe around December, because the wife is pregnant or whatnot. Then I'll go ahead and nurture the lead until they're ready, and I'll book it back to the agent. So there's two types of appointments, I guess you could say, or leads that comes in. Those who are looking to sell now, and those who are just curious, which they might not give me business right now, but they will give me business maybe in like 6 months or sometime next year. So our agents don't really have to do any of the nurturing or follow-up. They just let me know. I'll go ahead and nurture and follow up, and when they're ready, we'll send it back to them. So that way our agents have more time to focus with the sellers versus chasing them, sending them emails, texts, are you selling, are you ready, and things like that. So that's pretty much how we set the appointments and the sources of where the leads come from.
That's awesome, Margaret. So can you remind us again? I forgot to ask this at the beginning. So in this inside sales department here in this office, how many people, Margaret, in the inside sales team?
There's 8, and I think we're onboarding 3 more.
So 8 plus 3, so what is that? That's like 11?
Yep.
These are, so Margaret, can you explain a little bit more about the inside sales team department? These 11 people, right? The 8 plus the 3, so it's 11. The 11 inside sales people, like who, are they like independent contractors? Are they employees? And the reason, Margaret, this is important is because in real estate, in real estate, there is the reason there's no consistency in follow-up, Margaret, because the person that's doing a follow-up, they're like part-timers, or they call whenever they have time. You know what I mean? So there's no like a dedicated person that's actually doing the follow-up. Can you share, why don't you brag a little bit more about the inside sales team? Who are they? Full-time people? Are they independent contractor? Are they doing something else when they have nothing else to do? Like, is there any other job? Like, what is the job of an inside sales team?
Pretty much just follow up and set appointments. So at the moment there's 8 of us, and we're pretty much Monday through Sunday. First call starts at 8 o'clock and the last call ends at 8:59. So there's 8 of us calling Monday through Sunday from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. And the only thing that we do is call, check timing motivation, and of course, set the appointment. That's all we're doing. They're not part-time. They don't have a second job. I mean, when they're here, that's our main goal, is to check timing motivation, set appointments, and of course, close more deals.
So these are full-time position, and this is huge, you guys. Imagine if you are a real estate agent and you have a team of 8. Put it on the chat, comment below. How many of you want to have 8 dedicated full-time specialists? And the reason I say specialists, Margaret, because we specialize, each one of our inside sales team members specialize on one thing. So there's an ISA who specializes in radio, in billboards, in direct mail, in postcards, because each one of those, each different lead source have different behavior, right? So that way you as the real estate agent, you can just show up and just focus on servicing the clients. Now, Margaret, let's talk about your database. Let's talk about, give us an overview about your database, meaning who are these people, meaning who are these leads, who are the source. But first of all, how many seller leads in our database? I think that's number one, right? How many seller leads total in our database? And then where are all these people coming from? And then how are you nurturing them, either you as a human, or is there any other follow-up system? What do you do with this database in order for you to be able to, what did you say just now? In the last 6 months, you said you book over 220 listing appointments. These are not leads, 220 listing appointments. These are face-to-face listing appointments with the real estate agents partner in our team. So share a little, give us a behind the scenes on the life of Margaret.
Absolutely. So right now at the moment for Zillow, I'm sorry, not Zillow, for all sellers that we have in our database, there's about 8,312. Now, obviously, I can't call each and every single one of them. And these leads come from Zillow, from direct mail, radio, HomeLight, Sold.com, The Buyers, Revive. And some of these are actually from open house as well. So what we do is our team will call these leads from newest to oldest, check timing motivation. If they're not motivated or if they're not ready yet, we set up a reminder to give them a call at least every 90 days. We also send them emails, and depending on how motivated they are, we're also sending them the cash offer, letting them know that we actually have buyers looking for your property. So therefore, they're not thinking that we're just, gimmick or joke, but we actually send them offers so they know that we actually have a client who's interested in their property. We also send them direct mails, and we're talking about people who are not ready. We let them know what the market is, what's going on, the demand. I think overall, the ISA team, we try to reach these sellers every 90 days because you never know what could happen. Sometimes they get laid off, things might change. So we want to reach out and we just update. If they're not ready in December, we'll just update maybe in March, in April, in June, and so forth. Because the longest nurturing lead that we've ever done, it's about 4.5 years. She started as a buyer, and when we followed up at the time, she's looking to upsize. So it became a buy and sell opportunity.
Wow, Margaret, that one is so good. I know you have a lot of things to share, but let's pause on that one. 4.5 years. So you, the inside sales team department, are nurturing for 4.5 years. I don't know about the other real estate agents. For me, I don't even remember what I did 4.5 minutes ago, 4 days ago, right? Never following up 4.5 years. So let's talk about that in details, Margaret. So let's talk about that as an example. I think that's a great example. So the leads, the prospect came in 4.5 years ago. So what do you do in the last 4.5? And then it comes to closing. Because once we understand that what happened in the last 4.5 years, I think real estate agents who's watching this, I think they can start to appreciate that what is the inside sales team department does. They are not, Margaret is not just calling, so because if you're just calling, imagine, I'm sorry, Margaret, how many seller leads you said just now in the database?
There are 8,312.
8,312. So if Margaret were just calling, it's impossible to call 8,312 homeowners in our database. It's humanly not possible. So that means there must be something else that are inside sales team department. So let's use that as an example, that one example, Margaret. Walk us through the journey on the last 4.5 years.
Absolutely. So this was a client that we met at an open house. They weren't ready. So for agents, you always look for the next appointment, right? You meet today, you book the next appointment. But for us is we're trying to set the appointment. If not, we need to create the next reminder. So it's just constant reminder where we asked her if she was ready. She said no. Then we asked again, are you still looking? She said no. So it's just that constant reminder of, okay, I talked to Rudy today. He's not ready. Today is August. Let's give him a call back in December. Rudy says, nope, not ready yet. Still working on my finances. Call him back maybe in June. Rudy tells me I'm not ready. Call me back in 2026 because I'm waiting for my kids to graduate from school. So it's just this constant follow-up and reminder and building that rapport with them. So when she's ready, she'll call us back. Actually, she was the person that reached out to me saying that I'm actually ready now. So if you want to come by and take a look at my house, which I was surprised because all this time she didn't tell me that she already have a property, but it turns out it was her husband that they're selling. So she herself never owned a property, but it's the husband's home that they're selling. So it's that constant reminder, building rapport, and of course the follow-up. And that's how we got it. Because a lot of times, if you're not doing this full time, I mean, yes, you will get to it, but by the time you get to it, you're late because they already spoke with someone else who actually followed up and nurtured and actually gave them information when they weren't ready. So for that one, yes, it was a buyer who ended up with a property to sell. Excuse me. So it was a sell and buy. And that took us 4.5 years, just constant follow-up, calls, texts, emails, and so forth.
That's beautiful. Margaret, as in addition to you, the inside sales specialist, personally, manually call each one of these people in our database, because in our database we have 8,312 homeowners that came to us saying either they came to us as a cash offers inquiries, meaning they're inquiring to receive cash offer on their house, or at one time they go to a radio, they go to billboards, direct mails, or through one of our corporate partnership. The question is like, what do you do? What else do we do to nurture the database other than manually call one by one?
I put them on a drip campaign personally, so that way I can follow up with them. Usually I'll let them know that if, let's say, we sold a property in Rosemead, I would reach out to them again and just let them know, like, we just sold 123 Main Street. I still have buyers with you in this area. Let me know if you're ready to sell, or if you're just curious to find out what your home value is. And usually a lot of the sellers, they're not ready to commit, but when I offer a free home valuation or just to see what your home is worth, they're more comfortable in meeting with us. So there's drip campaign, we send text messages, and there's also direct mail that we're sending. So those are the ways how we nurture the lead. And there's 8 of us that's calling. There's 3 of us that's actually calling sellers. We have CC who calls the Mandarin, and recently Jennifer also joined the seller campaign as well. So there's 3 of us that's constantly calling the seller. We call them, we text them, we send them emails, unless they say, hey, my property is sold, or I'm no longer looking for that.
So the leads come in. So the leads came in either from radio, billboards, direct mail, online, or from any one of our corporate partnership. So the leads came in, and then our admin staff team input that into our database, and then our inside sales department call to check their timing and motivation. And once we determine the timing and motivation is now, then you book it to the agent, the one that's, if they need follow-up, then you, the inside sales team department, is responsible to follow up and to nurture. And that's a good example. You follow up for 4.5 years. Oh, by the way, can you share with everybody, what is the CRM? What is the CRM that we use in our system to keep track with all these 8,312 homeowners?
Follow-up.
We use Follow-Up Boss. So one follow-up, we love Follow-Up Boss, right? I think, why do you like Follow-Up Boss, Margaret?
I don't know, because Rudy likes Follow-Up Boss.
Because we don't know, because we use Follow-Up Boss. That's a good answer. We love Follow-Up Boss because I think it has capacity to to communicate between the admin staff team, the inside sales team, the OSA, my agent's partner and stuff, all in one platform. Now, the next question is this, Margaret. So you have 8,312 prospects in your database, homeowners who's thinking of selling their house. In the last 6 months, you booked 220 listings appointments. Then the question is, who do you book the appointments to? How do you know who to book it to, right? Because like there are so many people, different location, different, like you mentioned just now, languages and stuff. So how do you determine who are you giving the listing appointments to?
It depends. It goes with location, it goes with languages, and also personality. I also look at their DISC just to see who's a better fit. Because sometimes if you have someone who's a very high D, I don't want to send someone who's a super high I, who's just talking, and not getting the job done. So it varies, and also location. I wouldn't want to send my agents who's in Orange County to San Fernando Valley, and vice versa, sending my San Fernando Valley agents to San Bernardino. So location is very important. Language is also very important as well, and also your conversion. I mean, at the end of the day, we all look at closings, but if you are diligent with updating notes, sending us feedback, this lead is good, not good, nurture whatsoever, and you're actually closing, I think that's how you're able to get more opportunities. Just like any lead gen that we do, I mean, if you show that you or your team is capable of closing more deals or close more opportunities, that's when you get more leads.
Yeah.
So for us, it's really language, being coachable, and location. I really don't want to send my agents across the board unless I have to.
Yeah, so what Margaret is talking about is basically we call it KPI, right? Key performance indicators. That's the conversion. So that's number one. The second thing is obviously geographic location. Margaret and the inside sales team will try our best to make sure it's within the geographic location. But again, we are in SoCal, we are in real estate. So SoCal is our playground, right? Put it on the comment below. How many of you want to get listings in Orange County, in LA County? Oh, by the way, Margaret, do you know September 1st, 2024? September 1st, 2024, we have an exclusive corporate partnership with Easy Home Search, whereby we get all sellers and cash offer inquiries in LA County. So you're going to have an additional 300 sellers inquiries a month that for our inside sales team to nurture and book more appointments. So Margaret, for the people who don't know what is a DISC, you mentioned DI, stuff like that. Can you educate us a little bit about like what are you talking about?
It's more of like personality. D is someone who is more like dominant, direct, just tell them what they need to hear. No gimmicks, no sugarcoating. I is someone who's more of like the life of the party influencer. They love to talk. They'll engage with you with anything and everything. They can talk to you about the weather for like 5 hours. S's are more of the steadiness, where they're very soft-spoken, nice people. They'll tell you yes to everything, but you also don't want to rush them into making a decision. The C's are more of like your CPAs. They're very detail-oriented. When you tell them that you have buyers in waiting or you have sellers in this area and whatnot, they want the facts. Like, show me, Margaret. You told me you just sold a home in Rosemead. Show me which one. Okay. How much did you sell it for? Why this, why that? They will go into details. So I want to make sure that my agents who go out there, they can mirror that or at least know how to handle it. Someone who's a D, where it's just very detail oriented, where they just want to get the task done, I wouldn't want to send someone who's an INS, where they want to close the deal, but they don't know how to. So that's why knowing the DISC is very important for me and also the ISA team, so that you don't book someone who you could have closed, but you just set the wrong person out there. The agent's not a bad agent. It's just that the personality clash. They just didn't connect that way.
Yeah, that's amazing. And this is my our last question. I know you gotta call you gotta go back. How many follow-up are we doing today, Margaret, on your
I
data?
actually have a seller that just came in where I need to call. He's been sitting here for the past 15 minutes.
15 minutes. I've been interrupting Margaret's schedule. So I'm so sorry, Margaret. Last question. And then I promise we're going to end this podcast. The last question is this. Margaret, you've been with the team for over 9 years. You see all type of the agents in and out. Some of them make like doing extremely well, right? Making millions of dollars and stuff. So can you share what is and today in light of this post-NAR settlement, Margaret, every real estate agent suddenly want to be a listing agent, right? So everybody want to get seller lists, right? Margaret, give me seller lists. Margaret, give me seller appointments. Give me seller direct connections. Let's be honest, Margaret, in the last 9 years, based on your perspective, because you are the one that's booking these appointments, you can see the conversion, you can see who's doing extremely well and stuff. Can you share what is the prototype? What is the makeup of real estate agent that is doing well with our sellers connections program, either sellers direct live connections like you mentioned just now, or the listing appointments? I'm not sure if those two are different, so maybe you talk about the seller live connection first and then the face-to-face listing appointments. What is the prototype? Because many real estate agents are watching this, Margaret, and they say, okay, I want to join the team. Well, first of all, this is not for everybody, right? We don't want to overpromise you that, oh, you join our team and boom, tomorrow you're going to get 10 listing appointments, right? So we want to keep it as practical, as real as possible. We don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. So, Margaret, can you share the truth that what is the makeup of somebody that's going to do well with our sellers program here?
I guess most importantly is being coachable. Because if you're not being coachable and you're not willing to change, that's going to be your roadblock from preventing you from making more money, closing more deals. A lot of our agents, I mean, obviously they need to get certified first to understand what tools we have for you. I know that we do things slightly different here. So you got to understand what tools are available for you so that you know that when you go out on the field, you know how to handle each and every single seller. There's really no difference between a live connection and an IFA appointment, because at the end of the day, it's going to end up in a face-to-face appointment, but it's really knowing how you can serve the seller. For me personally, it's always about the conversion. It's always about you updating notes. It's always about you following the system. As an example, when you finish or when you're done with a tour of homes, I expect those tour cards to be back. That way IFAs can call, nurture, or at least set the appointment back to you for you to be able to submit an offer or at least work with that client versus not getting any tour cards at all. If I'm booking you listing appointments and there's no notes, I mean, how would I know that Rudy actually met with the seller? Maybe Rudy himself went on vacation and he didn't tell anybody. So it's really about being coachable and of course following the system. And just, update your calendar, update your notes, just give us feedback, show up in training, know the latest, opportunities, know the latest tools that we have. It doesn't matter if it's a lender, if it's a vendor, whatever it is, as long as you have the tools. Because if you don't, I mean, yeah, I can book you the listing, but after 3, 4, 5 opportunities and I see 0 closing and you're coming back with a story, then that's me not wanting to book you another listing. Because maybe you're not coachable, you're not attending training, or you're still doing things your old way.
So the biggest key is being coachable, attending the daily training, and then because once we book, I think Oprah Winfrey says the definition of luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So when you are prepared, when you are attending the training, you understand how to generate multiple cash offer on their home. You understand our arbit system whereby we generate multiple cash offer within less than an hour to help our consumers, clients. When you understand that, that's called the preparation. And then when the opportunity comes, right, when Margaret book your listing appointments, when our inside sales team book your listing appointments, then your conversion, that's the KPI that Margaret is talking about, then now you can convert. The more you can convert, because here in our team, we do not do round robins. Margaret, some people do round robin. We do not believe in round robin. We do not treat everybody equally. We look at performance, right? We look at the KPI. Who has the most conversion? So Margaret is the inside sales team are more likely to book that listing appointments to the one that's converting at a high level. Now, in order for you to convert at the high levels, that's when attending the daily training is important. All right, Margaret. So let's recap how many And we're gonna, did I say that was my last question? I promise this is my really last question. So let's end this with this. How many total, Market, if you look at our database now, how many total customers that we have in our database, total buyers, sellers?
120, 120, 120, 120,000.
120,000 customers in our database. Now, out of that 120,000, how many are homeowners thinking of selling their house? Meaning they come in here, say, hey, I'm getting a cash offer for my house, or I'm thinking of selling my house.
8,312.
8,312. And out of 8,312, in the last 6 months, you booked 220 listing appointments and 150 live connections, right?
In the last 6 months, 220, and the live connections are in the last 12 months.
Okay. How many listing appointments you booked in the last 12 months?
I don't have that number yet. I tried to look for it, but it's a little much. But just this month alone for August, we're at 41 appointments.
Okay, today is August. Let's talk about today. In the month of August 2024, how many listing appointments that we book for our partners here?
41.
41 in 1 month. And what about the direct connections? How many direct connections for the month of August?
Direct connections, we are at 23.
23 plus 41. So what is that, Margaret? That's going to be 64 listings opportunity for the real estate agents partner in our team. Margaret, you and the rest of our inside sales team, so you have 64 listing appointments. These are only listings, okay? Listing appointment and or direct connections, 64 in the last 30 days. In the last 30 days, Margaret and the inside sales team department either book you face-to-face listing appointments or sellers direct connections to you. So what is the biggest challenge, Margaret, that you face in our inside sales department here?
I think sometimes it's really finding the agent. I know it sounds silly. I know we have about over like 200 agents at the moment, but sometimes it's really finding that agent to meet the seller, because now we're competing, right? Because obviously we all know what's going on. Usually I try to book listing appointments within 2 days out. But now I got to be a little more aggressive, where the seller's like, you know what, I'm interviewing agents today at 5 o'clock. If you can come in today at 5:30, there's an opportunity. So it's like finding that agent who's available today or tomorrow versus giving myself a little more time to be able to find it on, a seller that I can meet on Saturday or Sunday. So a lot of times our agents are already like booked, like a lot of our top producers where they're having 5, 6, listings active. I can't book them more because it doesn't matter who you are, no matter how good you are. If I book you 5, 10 appointments and you're overwhelmed already, you're gonna end up dropping the ball. Like you're gonna end up like, oh shit, Margaret, I'm sorry, I didn't even know I have a listing. So that's pretty much what I'm facing. But luckily, some of our agents are able to be like, hey, Margaret, it's okay. I'll move my schedule around. I'll see what I can do. I'll have my wife pick up the kids or whatever it is. Like they're willing to help me out by adjusting their schedule.
So the biggest challenge we have now is we are looking for ambitious real estate agents who are coachable. This is not for everybody, you guys, right? This is not for everybody. This is designed for real estate agents who are hungry and who are coachable, willing to follow a proven system. And like Margaret mentioned just now, as simple as taking notes. That sounds simple, but most real estate agents, that's not the normal behavior, right? So we are looking for somebody that's coachable to partner up. Margaret, and today is August 28th. So 3 days from now, on September 1st, we're going to have an exclusive from our corporate partnership with Easy Home Search, whereby you, the inside sales team, is going to get 300 more exclusive. We have an exclusive relationship with Easy Home Search where all sellers in LA County actually is going to be directed to our team here. So we are really in a big need to partner up with ambitious real estate agents who are coachable and you are serious about making boatloads of money, right? So anything else, Margaret, before we end our show here today as far as your sellers, inside sales team, getting more listing appointments?
No, that's it.
That's everything else. So if you're a real estate agent watching this and you are interested to learn more about our sellers opportunity, how we are able to generate live connections for you and or face-to-face listing appointments for you and make the rest of 2024 be the best year ever lived. I'm inviting you to go to we create a special report. We create a special report whereby you can understand how our team system works. Go to www.agentsmastery.com. Margaret, can you double check to make sure the website is correct? www.agentsmastery.com. www.agentsmastery.com, where you download a special report and there's an online overview. Basically, I'm doing a virtual backstage tour about our team system so that you know how we are able to generate buyers and listing appointments for you. Is that correct, Margaret? www.agentsmastery.com.
You got it.
Awesome. Okay, Margaret, I thank you so much for your time. I know you and everybody in Inside Sales team are extremely busy. So thank you for showing up here today. Make it a great day, everybody. Go serve big.